sharing a spotlight on a new book that offers knowledge, compassion, and empowerment for families impacted by dementia. This morning, we have award-winning educator, author, caregiver, advocate, everything, Dr. Macie P. Smith with us in studio to discuss her latest book. It is A Dementia Caregiver Call to Action. It is the journey there. A powerful guide for families navigating the complex journey of Alzheimer's and dementia, offering insight into causes and treatments, how to build that strong relationship as well with families, and most importantly, a plan rooted in hope and quality of life. I am loving this, Dr. Smith. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yes. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what inspired you to make this book, of course, with all of the knowledge and the background information that you have.
Yeah. So professionally, I've worked in the industry for over 25 years. And then maybe after I've been in the industry for about 10 or 11 years, my grandma developed a progressive type of dementia. And it was so alarming because I was dumbfounded.
Right.
So someone who is skilled and credentialed in this area, when it lands on your doorstep, you don't know what to do. And so because my family went through the stage of not knowing, feeling hopeless and helpless, looking for out-of-home placement immediately, and I had to step back and say, hey, you know, take off your granddaughter hat and put on your licensed social worker and gerontologist hat, and let's get to work. And so that moment of confusion and hopelessness and helplessness, I didn't want any other family to go through it. And I don't care how much you're credentialed, I don't care how much education you have, it is very, very scary. It's one of the diseases in the top 10, the only one that cannot be prevented, cured, or even slowed. And so whatever information or support I can provide to families going through the disease, I want to be there to do that.
And especially with your personal journey with all of this too. You kind of mentioned that the current healthcare system is, what's it called, not geriatric centered. So for those who are kind of unfamiliar, what does that really mean and how does it impact families?
So geriatric care or gerontology is the study and the care of the older population and their caregivers. When we look for geriatricians across the country, they are very few and far in between. The baby boom population, those over the age of 65, is the largest population. So there is a disparity there, a huge gap when it comes to specialty care, when it comes to our aging population. And they are dealing with chronic illnesses, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's not only the senior that we have to consider. We have to consider the family, the caregivers, because they're just as affected. We know that they're spending billions of dollars in their own healthcare costs, dealing with depression, anxiety, isolation. It is an isolating role. And so we have to be able to better understand the needs of that population. And it is the fabric of our country. And so how dare we not shine a spotlight and provide resources for that community?
I can just sense from you how much this really means to you.
Yeah, I mean, because we got to think about it. My mom would always say, you know, I'm going and you coming. They've been here for us. They've laid it down for us, and for them to get to a point where they need support, understanding, and compassion, and they don't get it. They have to worry about, number one, going broke in order to receive long-term care and support, or worrying about whether or not they'll have enough money to pay for their medication or pay their light bill. That's just not fair.
Yeah, it's not.
A change has to come.
And so, well, speaking of all of that too, the Alzheimer's Association released that annual report. Can you kind of break that down? Is that going to be also mentioned in your book with this information on here too?
So the Alzheimer's Association, I'm glad you mentioned that. At the end of my book, when I talk about, you know, what the journey looks like ahead, I have a list of resources for family caregivers, who to call, what to say, and what to expect. The Alzheimer's Association is a leading partner. They're a leading research entity. And when they put out their report, the numbers are always, I would say, in your face. It brings about an area of interest. Also, too, people can identify with it because so many people are dealing with it, but they're not talking about it. And so when that report comes out and it's alarming and it's glaring, and say, hey, this is what we're seeing and this is what you can do. They have support services, they have support groups, they offer respite vouchers. And so I want to be sure that families are connected, because Christy, make no mistake about it, it is not the person living with dementia, it is the family living with dementia. So to be able to wrap our arms around them, we absolutely do appreciate the Alzheimer's Association.
And that's why it says, like, you kind of talk about like creating a game plan for a hope and optimism. I mean, that is so incredibly powerful.
I know. Because when you think about a disease that's no cure, it affects a person's mind, their brain. Eventually, they may not remember who they are. I mean, that is very, very daunting. And so when you lose hope, you lose life. And I don't need nobody losing life on my, on my dime. And so when you have a compact, comprehensive, digestible, what I like to call roadmap to what that journey looks like ahead, I mean, it changes the trajectory of not only that person's quality of life, but the caregiver as well.
Now we have 30 seconds left. Tell me about this book signing.
Okay, the book event is going to be this Saturday at Books A Million in Northeast Columbia, Sand Hills. It's going to start at 12 o'clock. We have Cynthia Hardy moderating the discussion. We'll have a Q&A session, and then we're going to move right into the book signing. So if you already have a book, bring that. I'm going to sign it. We're going to chat, or you can purchase a book there.
There you go. All of that information right there on your screen, a dementia caregiver call to action. Dr. Smith, thank you so much for giving us an insight on this. Congratulations on this new book. This is going to be amazing. All right, everyone, we're going to be putting this later on our website, WLTX.com.